This is your afternoon tonic.
All right. Well, with our newest and most popular segment, here we go.
Gig fails.
Gig fails. So
Womp womp.
I had I'd call it a gig fail. It was terrible. I had a
So if we put a number on this, like a 0 to 10, 0
well, it's
being
tricky because
like,
it's not really my fault. It's not so much I failed. It's that the gig was a failure.
wow, that's very okay. You're removing yourself from the equation a bit.
I'm not. Well,
like you're saying you can't control the variables.
yeah, I'm literally saying that. Okay, so
Tell me about this gig.
I had a South by Southwest gig at this
Ooh,
place on
fancy.
6th Street in Austin
Uh-huh.
called Narbar, and I'm
Narbar.
I'm happy to say the name and fuck these guys.
So is it GNAR? Nar?
It is
Narbar.
Gnar Bar.
Narbar.
Right. So I was booked from 8 to 9:15, hour 15-minute spot. There was a punk band playing after me. We actually played a show with them at Carousel Lounge, Glass Grenade.
Okay.
This bar, it's kind of like a metal
poppy punk.
Pop
They
punk.
Reminiscent of Green Day and Blink
Like
182.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Like
Exactly.
heavy Blink vibes. Heavy.
Yes. So this bar is definitely a Blink 182 kind of bar. There's like, fake graffiti all over the place. It's like halfway metal, halfway punk, but not dark demon kind of stuff like skateboard punk and
Okay.
yeah. Anyway.
Like like lip piercing, some tattoos, some tank tops.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, when it's South by Southwest in Austin, downtown is insane. And 6th Street is completely blocked off, and it is blocked off up to 7th and 8th Street, and it's blocked off down to 5th and 4th Street. So you can't get a car anywhere near it, even if you're a performing musician. It's completely barricaded by the police. There's no way to get a car near it. So what most bars on 6th Street do, especially during South by Southwest, is they make sure that they have their back line set. So musicians can just show up and plug in and play.
Okay.
Right? Makes sense. That would be a smart thing to do. They got their drum set there, they got their amps, they got the mics, they got everything. So I showed up. I was able to get a spot about 4 blocks away, which is annoying because I broke my toe the other day, and it's not 100% better. So
are you bending it?
Yeah.
I do that every day.
Yep.
Otherwise,
no, I know. No, I know. Anyway, so I brought my first load of stuff in. I brought an amp as a backup just in case, but I wanted to be able to just plug in straight from my pedal, go DI directly in. So I get there, and I asked who the sound guy was, and it was a bartender who was like partially doing sound, didn't really know what they were doing. They had a snake that I could plug into with only XLR. And so I said, well, do you have a DI box? Because I just have a 1/4 inch out from my pedal. And I know not everybody knows about this, but there's microphone plugs and there's instrument plugs. So I only had the instrument plug. They needed the microphone plug. Pretty standard for a place to have a DI box. He said they didn't have any. Fine, I have my amp. I'm gonna go get my amp from the car. So I walk back to the car, I get my amp. Then he's like, oh, I found a DI box. Like, great.
Problem solved.
That's awesome. Whatever. They also didn't have any mic stands.
Okay.
It's fine. Got that figured out. I brought extra stuff. No problem. So I plug into their system, and I'm ready to play. It's 8 o'clock, and the bartenders are like jamming out to this song they have playing on whatever, just over the loudspeaker.
Okay.
And so they're like, we want to finish listening to this song. We need you to wait. It's like, okay.
Cool.
All right. I mean, it's a little weird, kind of unprofessional, but whatever.
It's their jam, dude. It's their jam.
It's great. It's great. So then they turn that off, and I start playing.
Yeah.
And they are like not into it. It is clear they're like bummed that they're not listening to their tunes anymore.
Okay.
Whatever. I mean, they brought me into play. It's not like I lied about what my music was. And And then in between each song, the sound guy keeps coming up to me and being like, dude, your vocals are like really low. And like your guitar is way too loud. It's like, well, I'm sending both directly to your system. So I don't have any control over that.
Yeah,
And
you
then,
can adjust it on your side.
yeah. And he's like, I have you up all the way. And it's like, okay. I don't know.
So turn down my guitar in the house.
Exactly. That's what I said. I was like, I can like turn it down a little here, but you should turn it down over there. And he was like, okay, all right. And then after every song, it was like increasingly weird between me and the sound guy. He's like, dude, I know you're telling me you don't have control, but we need those vocals louder. And I was like, it is a microphone that's going into your board. There's not a volume on it. You have the volume. And then after about 30 minutes of my hour and 15-minute set, he's like, man, the general manager is making me, I gotta cut you off.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because of the vocals.
I don't know. I don't know what it was.
I just think they didn't like you.
I
That's what I'm
agree
thinking.
they didn't like me. And I was recording it. I watched back because I was like, I knew it wasn't going that great.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that bad. It sounded just like normal. Like I wasn't playing badly.
No, but I don't think for as anti-establishment as you want to present yourself, like
Yeah.
it's like that music is more like you're the wrong vibe for a punk
Absolutely.
bar.
No, I agree.
Don't
I
fit there.
agree. I'm the wrong vibe. I understand.
Like even us together, like none of our stuff is gonna fly with that crowd.
No. But the best part is, here's where it gets worse. They then texted the guys in Glass Grenade that they'd pulled me off early because I didn't have the right equipment.
Yeah.
Because the microphone was too quiet or something. So they're using excuses about me not having the right equipment, not coming prepared.
Wow.
And so Glass Grenade was like, you know what? We're not even going to try and play there. Because they also didn't have a backline drum kit or anything like that. And they're like, well, I'm not lugging a full drum kit like 4 or 5 blocks.
Wow.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And then the best part is the next day on Facebook, this bar posts like looking for performers for South by Southwest. And then 2 very specific pointed notes. Be sure to have all of the right equipment to just plug into our system. And like, be sure to show up early enough to be able to cart your equipment.
Wow.
It's like I showed up an hour and 15 minutes before my set because I knew it was going to be crazy.
Dang, man, that sounds a little frustrating.
I was so pissed
So wait,
off.
but did they pay you still?
No. It was an unpaid spot.
Oh. So, man, this whole music industry thing, man, I don't know about any of this anymore. Then what? Like,
this is not
there's
true
so much
of all
bad
bars.
about
This is not true of all bars on
Well,
6th
what part
Street.
of this is like? This is a
This bar has never done music. They're just dipping their toe into doing music, but they have no idea what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, they don't know.
Like they think that it is
But that's
our
kind of
fault.
shocking.
Like
That's
this
kinda
has never happened to me at any gig ever.
I mean, the guy not knowing if they have DIs, that's pretty funny.
Whatever.
Were they super busy?
No.
So it's still kind of shocking because there's so much live music in that area. There's so much.
Especially, I mean, right now with South by Southwest.
But you would
it is
have an
out of
idea
control.
then if they're doing that, they would have someone that has an idea of what they're doing, or bring in someone and be like, hey, well, like they bring in a sound guy just for the events.
Yeah.
You would think. Like that's the point. Is
No,
that the town is swarmed with people.
Yep.
So it's like, oh, we're gonna spend another couple $100 a night so we can have a guy here to babysit the board.
Yeah.
Right? Find
Absolutely.
some college kid, find some guy in a band that knows how to run a soundboard.
Yeah.
So you have someone to go, ooh, 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 right?
Exactly. Yeah, I know.
Like, pay the guy
it's crazy.
$200 to hang out for 5 hours, you know?
No, but they think they have a sound guy. One of the comments on Facebook was somebody like, "Oh, do you guys need a sound guy?" And the manager was like, "No, we got that covered, thanks." So they think that they have a sound person who knows what they're doing.
Yep. Well, this is a bit of a womp womp. So is this a gig fail? I guess it is a gig fail.
I mean, what I'm saying is the gig was a failure.
Yeah.
That I don't think it was that much my fault. I think there are certain little details that I could have maybe done better, but I don't
Right,
know.
right. Man, I'm
I
sorry. That sounds
I
so
got there and
frustrating.
I was like looking around the bar and it's like, fuck, man, this is not it's not gonna go well.
It's a trap.
But the thing is, I had people liking it. Like there were some guys in the front filming, and they like people were enjoying it. The bartenders were not enjoying it.
Yeah, I can imagine the crowd. I can imagine the crowd, and then I'm imagining you're doing some of the tunes that I know that you do solo. They're not
Yep.
gonna like it. They're just not
No.
going to. It's the wrong feeling. And they could get into it, but if they're telling you, no, 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 we got to finish this track before we hear you play, that's some weird.
I don't know, that felt really rude to me. That fucking pissed me off right off the bat.
It is rude. I
Like you
mean,
brought me in to play music. This is like a South by Southwest weekend. You could listen to your like playlist anytime.
yeah, that's true. So it was a bad omen from the get-go. Rough
Oh my
times,
god.
man.
I mean,
That's
this
a
is where I'm thinking like if I actually had my own sound system, then I could bypass like if I get to a bar and it's like, oh, they don't know what they're doing, I just say, oh, I just run through my own sound system. You guys don't even have to worry
See, we've
about it.
talked about this before. I
But
don't think it's the
there's
worst
no
idea.
fucking way I could have lugged my own sound system that far with everything.
Yeah,
Like,
there is. You just get a little red wagon, you know.
sure, right? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I have a wagon, and then I probably need a bigger car at a
Or a
certain point.
wheelbarrow,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, a wagon would do well. A wagon would be good.
Yeah, it's something that we should actually consider, you know, if we want to do a mini
No,
tour.
I was
I
looking.
think we
Yeah,
need
yeah,
to get a multi-cart.
yeah, yeah.
We should
You're
get a
right.
multi-cart dolly.
Yep,
And the other thing though would be we should decide if we want to get, you know, traditional speakers, you know, some like
yep,
10s or 12s, or if we want to try to go through one of those stick systems, because then at that point you don't need the dolly as much. You know,
right.
there's several
Oh,
brands
those
that have
Bose
them.
ones. Yeah, yeah. I've
Yeah,
seen
there's
those.
several brands that have those, and it
Yeah,
might
I'm.
work for us because we're not, you know, the size venues we're doing. The
Yep.
portability of that is so much more advantageous,
Right, and then we can
and
bypass any nonsense.
you don't have to deal with any. Dude,
The
you could.
only thing is then we have to do our own sound, which is a little tough.
It is, but
But if
if
you
we
can get a set and
it's
you
not
can,
hard though because if we're playing and it's right between both of us, we can literally
yep,
boom hit a note, turn it, we
yep,
stop playing for a half second, and
yep,
then
yeah,
no problems ever.
absolutely. Yeah,
Because this
I was
is
looking at these JBL systems.
yeah,
It's like an all-in-one package, two
yeah, yeah, yeah,
speakers, mixer
yeah.
for like $900, and they're like, like a medium level PA. But I think at
But a
least to
medium level
start.
PA would be so much better than having these issues.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you remember how we've talked about like my microphone, right? And I'm
Hmm.
like, it's not my gear, it's not my gear.
Yep.
Remember the
Yep.
last gig we did? They're like, oh, it's cutting in and out. I'm like, can we please try my cable? And
And it
it's
worked.
literally because it
Yep.
has that little it's like a washer
Yep.
that keeps it secure,
Yep.
right? And I've had this problem before. I'm like, use my cable, please. And they're like,
Yep.
no, no, I got one right here. I'm like, okay, let's try it. And then it cracks out, and then
Yep.
right, if we just get rid of that variable, it'd
Yeah.
be so helpful.
It'll save us a lot of
Anytime we're doing a
like.
set, we should see. I think we should look into that. That seems the most reasonable
I agree.
because to get an actual good sound system would be several $1,000s.
Yep.
Whereas if we get that and we just have our four inputs,
I think
because
it's
what I
fine.
need me, you, and then actually maybe
Me,
we need
you.
five because we need two vocals, and then you have guitar, banjo, and I have bass.
But I run guitar and banjo through the same pedal.
Oh, you do. That's right.
Now, if we really want to get fancy, it would be fun to have a little reinforcement mic on the banjo, so you get some of the natural banjo sound coming
Yeah.
through too. But
Yeah.
whatever, it's fine.
Down the road. Down the
Yeah,
road.
man. But that was a failed gig.
That was a gig fail.
I was so mad. I left, like, especially that they were texting Alex in Glass Grenade about me not having the right equipment, and I was like, "You fuckers! What do you mean I don't have the right equipment?"
I'm curious. I might because we have some mutual sources. I'm curious to see if that influenced their decision at all or not. Because I think actually like you're cool with them, right? I want to think you are with Glass
Narbar?
Grenade. No,
Oh, with
Glass
Glass
Grenade.
Grenade. Yeah, we're buddies.
Like you guys have
Like
hung out
yeah.
like before. We've
And like
we've
I'm
shared that
doing
date at
some other
Carousel.
work with Alex and stuff. So
See, that's what I'm saying. So I almost wonder if that influenced their decision too. Like, hey, this is a little funny because when have you been like that before? You know, it doesn't quite make sense.
yeah, I don't show up not prepared.
Yeah. Wow.
Crazy. But what was funny is the sound guy, when he cut me off, he's like, "This is all my fault. I'm so sorry." He was like, I feel so unprofessional and whatever. And then like I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, you kind of are. You should
like,
feel sorry.
I was like trying not to be that much of a dick to him, but I was also a little pissed off, and I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
Like I wasn't yelling at him. I was just like, okay, I don't know what to say. All right, dude.
Dude, that's a little rough.
Oh man,
You know, these experiences, though, they're good opportunities.
they're good. They make you tougher.
To be reflective, to be tougher. Yeah. I mean, and sometimes, man, it's just in poker, you can't control the run out. You know this
Right.
idea?
No, I don't.
Like yeah, you do. You can have the winning hand pre-flop, and
Oh,
then
I
have
see.
a
Yeah,
have
yeah,
a hand.
it'll
They
all
call it a
change.
suck out,
Yep.
right? Like for example, you could have pocket aces, and a guy calls your shove with 7-5,
Yep.
and the flop, is king queen 10, and then it's
Yep.
7-7, and the 7-5 wins.
Right. It's pretty easy to lose with 2 aces in your hand.
It is. It is. So even if you start off in the best place, it's a lot to navigate, and you can't control what other people do. So,
Yep.
dude, that's it.